Hello and welcome to another episode of Rob's Ramblings here on the Bucks and Six channel. Today at the Brown Table of Sports Card Collecting, I have a graduation ceremony. I've done a few of these throughout the existence of my channel. Usually I've done graduation from One Touch Town into Slab City. I've done a couple of grandiose graduation ceremonies that got a little silly. I have done a couple others where it was just smaller ones, and that's what today is going to be. What I mean by smaller, it's just on the lower level. I'm graduating cards from One Touch Town, or from Top Loader Land into One Touch Town. A couple of months ago, or maybe about a month ago, I did a video where I talked about my aunts Gail and Lori, who had done some traveling through the winter, and they gave me some cards that they had picked up during their travels. What I didn't mention in that video is that they also gifted me a whole bunch of these one-touch card holders, and they've just been sitting in a box. So I figured it is about time that I fill those card holders with some cards. And so that's what I'm going to do today. The episode that I have today is going to be intentionally steering away from brewer cards, because I have been very heavy on my hometown team in my videos. So I want to try to expand a little bit on my channel, just showing that I do collect cards that aren't from my hometown team. And that kind of flies in the face of an episode that I really did enjoy. My goodness. Justin, my friends Justin and Jon, Justin from Go Crazy Card Collecting and Jon from Nerding Out with Cards. They recently did a collaboration video that I really thoroughly enjoyed. Those two guys, if you're not familiar with them, they are big time Cardinal fans, which rival for my Brewers, but I enjoyed listening to them talk about all of the joys of doing team collecting, which I certainly do. If you watch my channel, you know that I do like to collect my Brewer cards and my Canucks cards as my hockey team. I really focus on those cards, but I also have the desire to keep my collection more well-rounded. So I do collect other cards, and I'm going to show some of those today, and I'm going to upgrade those from the top loaders into the one touches and kind of honor them and move them up the ranks. One other thing before I start showing the cards, I do want to point out that I've been called out by a number of viewers over the last several months about the fact that I call these things the wrong name, and that's okay by me. But these Ultra Pro plastic card holders, I know that they are semi-rigid card holders, and I call them top loaders. And the reason for that really is, when I was a kid, these things did not exist. I did not own anything like this. The closest thing I had is those 9 card pages, and I would cut those up with scissors very carefully along the edges to create a little plastic sheet sleeve like this. That's what I used when I was a kid, and that's what I put my really nice cards in, is those cut up 9 pocket pages. Then many years later, many decades later, actually, I got back into the hobby, and I noticed that these were around, and these were very prevalent. And when I saw them for the first time, I didn't know what their names were. I just assumed what they were. I heard people talking about top loaders, and I just assumed that this was a top loader. It is not. It's a semi-rigid card protector. Top loaders don't have this extra, like, half-inch edge on it, but it doesn't really matter to me. I went with it in my mind that these were top loaders, and that's what I've always called my top loader land. But anyways, enough of that silliness. I got to get into the cards here. I've rambled on for 4.5 minutes, haven't showed any cards. So without any further ado, this is the first card I am graduating into One Touch Town. This is a 2022 Stadium Club base card of Ozzie Smith, giving a nod to Justin and Jon over there at Go Crazy Cards and Nerding Out with Cards. This is a card I know has got several different forms of this card that are a little bit more pricey and a little bit more fancy, but this is just the base card. But it is such an iconic photograph of Ozzie Smith, and couldn't hardly keep this one off of this episode, knowing what was kind of the inspiration for the theme. And so went with that one as my leadoff hitter for this episode. Very happy to be bumping that Ozzie Smith Stadium Club card up from Top Loaderland into One Touch Town. The next one is a Derek Jeter. This is another guy that I don't really collect. I'm not a big Yankee fan. I actually, during Derek Jeter's career, I spent more time cheering against him than for him. And so I never really collected him. But this card, as I've learned, is a pretty special card. It's from the 2021 Topps Archives. And it says up here, 140 years of Topps. Obviously, Topps has not been around for 140 years, but they did something where they were like trying to do a futuristic card. And this has got some of that rainbow foil board shine to it in a couple of different places. And I didn't realize it when I had first pulled this. I pulled this out of a pack. But this card is numbered to 25. It's number 16 out of 25. So there aren't very many of these around. And Derek Jeter is a guy that I appreciate much more now in his post-playing years than I did during his playing era, because I was too busy cheering against him to really appreciate how good he was. And that's so true for a lot of the guys that I grew up watching. Anyways, so that's a cool card. I definitely feel like it is worthy of being bumped up into One Touch Town. The next one is just a fantastic photograph. This is a 1974 Tom Seaver, and I've just always loved this picture of Tom Seaver. You just love the wide shot of the fans in the background. See the first baseman over here ready to field, and just the follow through. I don't know. The 1974 cards, there's a few of them in this set that are really, really eye-catching. This one is one of them. Carlton Fisk has a fantastic card in this set as well. But anyways, this one I definitely felt like was worthy of being upgraded to One Touch Town. Next one on the list is another guy that played for a Midwest team. I've always kind of liked the Royals, and my brother and I have gone down to some games down to watch the Brewers play the Royals, and really kind of fell in love with the city and the fans down there. But George Brett, this is 1981 Fleer George Brett. What I really have always liked about this card is that it puts this average 390 average. Didn't put the decimal point on it, just the number 390. But that is just such a remarkable feat. We don't have guys that even come close to touching that number anymore. I guess Luis Ariz gave it a little run at it a couple of years ago, but then ended up falling way short. We don't really see those guys challenging 400 very often, but I've always loved this photograph of George Brett in that 1981 Fleer set. Really enjoyed that card, so thought it was worthy of moving on up. The next one is from 1972. This is a nod to our recently passed friend, Rev Steve. He was a huge fan of Manny Sanguian, and this card Manny Sanguian has a lot of cards that really show his personality and his shine throughout his playing days run. But this card, I think, better than any, shows Manny. This is Manny right here with the smile on his face, kind of celebrating with his team. The Pirates had just won the World Series, so they're on top of the world. And so this card from 1972, celebrating the 1971 championship, definitely I wanted to put this in a higher place of honor beyond just top loader land. So I call it Manny Sanguian. It's actually a Pirates team card, but Manny is clearly the star of that card. So going to move that one on up to the next level. Now the next three kind of go together, and these are cards from my childhood collection that I didn't realize until very recently what they were. I had them in a box and sleeved up, and I never really looked at them closely, but these 3 cards I always thought were 1978 Topps cards, and in fact, they are not. These 3 are all 1978 O-Pee-Chee cards. The backs, you can see, are a lot lighter color, and we've got the French writing down there in the corner, and all of these. So I didn't realize what I had when I was a kid. These just look like Topps cards, but so they ended up in a box with 1978 Topps, and then much later, here as an adult, I discovered that I had some O-Pee-Chee cards. I must have picked them up at the card shop when I was a kid and didn't realize what I had. But anyways, the 3 that I have, this is the Pete Rose record breaker card. 1977, he broke the record for most hits by a switch hitter in a lifetime. 1977. It wasn't until like 7 or 8 years later that he broke the all-time hits record, but he was had the most hits by a switch hitter back in 1977. So that's that 1978 O-Pee-Chee card. And then the next one is the Mike Schmidt. Pretty nice looking card. Nice edges. It's not, the centering isn't perfect on this, but sorry, I had a little bit out of the frame for a minute there, but love that Mike Schmidt card. Put that here. And then Carl Yastrzemski. Yastrzemski was another guy I collected quite a bit as a kid. I've talked about my Aunt Gail had given me a whole bunch of cards from 1961, and then one of them was a Carl Yastrzemski card. And so I loved that card, and so I kind of ended up collecting him quite a bit when I was a kid growing up. And this 1978, quite a few years after the 1961 card, but then another Carl Yastrzemski card many years even after that one. This is a 1984. So Carl Yastrzemski played forever. So this is a card showing Carl Yastrzemski and Johnny Bench, if I can get it to stay focused, retiring superstars. This is from one of my favorite all-time sets. It's hard for me to pick one set that's my favorite, although I do lean towards the 1980 Topps just because I have the most memories of that one as being my first set I ever collected. And all 3 of the main companies from 1984, I just think knocked it out of the park. And the Donruss gets most of the love, but I really have an affinity for this 1984 Fleer set. And this is just a fantastic photograph of these 2 guys. My camera doesn't want to stay in focus, but you see those 2 smiling men, and they had been playing a long time by the time that picture was taken. The next card is, again, following that theme, is from the same set, the 1984 Fleer set. I've always loved this card of Pete Rose. Again, my camera's not really focusing on it too clearly, but yeah, this is a great card of Pete Rose. That 1984 Fleer, crisp and clean image, and I've always liked that one. Another one that I'm upgrading, there's actually a few more of these 1984 Fleer, just because I've really fallen in love. I've kind of rekindled the flame, so to speak, of my feelings for that 84 Fleer set recently. Here's another one from that set. Beautiful picture, Nolan Ryan. This is a beautiful card, beautiful picture. 1984 Nolan Ryan. This one is really good shape too. It's a little bit miscut, but good color on that one. The next one is Eddie Murray from the same set. Beautiful card. Love this Eddie Murray. It's kind of fun to go back. I mean, I'm pretty well versed in all of the Brewer history from these years, but I do have a lot of memories of watching all of these guys that were non-Brewers. Eddie Murray beat up the Brewers quite a bit. Nolan Ryan pitched really well against the Brewers, as he did against everybody. So I didn't always cheer for these guys in their prime, but now looking back, I can definitely appreciate everything they did. And now, following the theme here with Eddie Murray in 1984, I do have a 1984 Donruss. Speaking of the 84 Donruss set, this is another beautiful set. Obviously, it gets a lot of love in the hobby, and rightfully so. So the Eddie Murray from 1984 Donruss definitely deserves the upgrade to One Touch Town. The next one is one that I didn't even realize I owned this card until I recently did my Binder Boulevard project, and I was looking through some stuff, and I found this. This is 1983 Kellogg's Fernando Valenzuela, and I've found I had a few of these Kellogg's cards that I didn't realize I had, but this is just a beautiful card. These Kellogg's cards have a very unique shine to them. If you're familiar with those cards, they have a little bit of a texture to them that gives them a little shine. And this card is just beautiful. I love it. With the image, I think, of him is beautiful on here, and it's got that extra cool little shine, and really love the facsimile autograph there. So anyway, there is the Fernando Valenzuela 1983 Kellogg's. The next one here, this is a guy that I feel like doesn't get a lot of love in the hobby, but he really should. This guy hit 500 home runs, and now that I'm saying that out loud, I think he might have even pushed 600. I'll have to look it up after the episode here to verify that. But Jim Thome, just a beast of a player back in the day. And these are from 1997. This is the EX 2000 card, and these are just beautiful. They're acetate. You can see right through them. You can see my finger right through the back of it. And I kind of fell in love with these the very first time I ever saw them. I believe I first was introduced to these by Card Wolf. Card Wolf, if you're watching, thank you. I saw these on your channel and immediately went out and found some, and I've gotten some graded. I've got a Ken Griffey that's just beautiful, and a few others. So anyways, the Jim Thome EX2000 card. Love that. We're getting down to it. I just have a couple more to go here. The next one is a Stadium Club Chrome Refractor, and this is Edgar Martinez. This is from 2020. Just kind of a cool shine card. It's got the shine in the background. I didn't know for sure what I had. I thought it might have been a gold minted card. I don't think it is, though. It's just a refractor, because it says refractor on the back. You can see if I can get that into focus. But anyways, it does say refractor right there above my thumb. But this is just a beautiful card. Edgar Martinez, Hall of Famer, beloved in Seattle. Doesn't probably get a lot of love outside of Seattle, but he definitely deserves it. Kind of got a little knock because he played DH, but he definitely played third base very well too in his day. Love that card. Really cool card. Him giving love to the fans. High fives along the side of the rail there. So super dude. Love that card. And then the last card I have is a really cool card too. This is a Topps Now. I've been getting more and more into Topps Now recently. I've been buying some more. But this is Elly De La Cruz from July 8th, 2023. And on this date, Elly De La Cruz stole second, stole third, and stole home all in the same at bat. And it happened to be against my Brewers. You can see there's William Contreras there catching. And excuse me, I've always loved this photograph from directly above home plate of Elly sliding into home base safely. As much as I was not rooting for Elly De La Cruz that day, it's hard not to respect what the man can do. His skill set is just remarkable. And that day I was watching that game, and even though I was pretty angry and upset about the fact he stole second, third, and home, yeah, I got to respect him, and he's one of my favorite players to watch. And he's got a bright future ahead of him. So there you go. Those are the cards I'm graduating into One Touch Town. So I'm gonna pause the video. I'll load those up in their One Touches, and I'll show what they look like in their new home in One Touch Town. And I have now upgraded all of their status to One Touch Town. So I'm just going to go through here, show you. I know I just showed all of them previously, but they look so much better in the One Touches, at least they do in my opinion. I've always thought that with each upgrade, the cards really do take on a new look, and I'm going to have a little bit of a glare in the background with these background pictures. But there they are. Really bad glare on this Gian back there, but appreciate everybody sticking with me through this whole video. A lot of cards today, so I appreciate you sticking through the whole thing. Until next time, everybody, enjoy the hobby and stay true to yourself.